let's head over to Angela in New York, and then we're going to take a break and then come back and take the rest of the calls. Hello there. Hi.
Hi, Karen. How are you today?
Awesome.
Good, good. Listen, I wanted to just briefly speak to, you had mentioned who you're voting for. Where is that? Where are you in this voting season? And my stance at this point is I got into the day of when I walk into the voting booth. And that's when I will make my decision. And in between time, I'm watching. Now, I know, it's like the lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
But
hold
at
on,
this
pause.
point,
I feel like that's a catchphrase. So do you think Biden's evil?
to tell you the truth,
Because you have to think he's evil
if
to
I
think
look,
he's the lesser of two evils. Do you think he's evil?
but you know what? When I look at what's happening in the world and the fact that it's not just him, it's all the representatives because everyone's silent.
Are they silent? I don't
Okay,
see.
left and right,
Rashida
everyone's
Tlaib is not
silent.
silent. There's a lot of people not silent, and across the country, the campuses are on fire.
No.
And
I'm not speaking about. No, I'm standing with my children.
okay,
You have to understand. I am an educator,
okay.
a recent retired educator of 35 years.
Thank you.
Those
for
are
your
my
service.
children out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Those are mine.
But let's get back to.
I took them through the pandemic.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm very proud of them and their parents because believe you me, those kids would not be out there if they did not have their family support. So those numbers multiply them.
Okay, so
And
let me
the
ask you. Okay,
phrase,
let's get back. I don't want to. I don't want to get. I don't want to get derailed because we have a limited amount of time, Angela, and I want you to get. I want to answer the question. Okay, because Biden not evil, but you're disgusted by the whole system because you do realize that's the United States policy. It's not Biden's policy. Any president sitting in that seat, whether it was Obama, Clinton, well, Clinton loves that, but everybody sitting in that seat would do, including our great Jimmy Carter, although he probably would try to broker peace like he did, it still would end up the way it is right now because that's our policy.
Right. You just answered it.
Okay,
you just made my point.
Not really, because you said it's the lesser of two evils, but you would then have to put Biden in the evil category.
No. When I say lesser two evils, I did say, you're right. It's a catchphrase, whatever, because it's all, in my opinion, evil.
But you live in a country that, as I mentioned before, is wrought with hypocrisy. So as a citizen of this country, this is not church and state, render to Caesar what is Caesar's. We have a binary choice. And while people, maybe a trinary choice, you either vote for Biden, you vote for Trump, those are the two nominees for each party, or you don't vote. And the don't vote category puts you probably leaning towards Trump winning. And I just, me personally, I can't live with myself having participated in that, even with everything that's going on. So we're going to have to separate the hemispheres of our souls to show up in November. But sitting out this particular race and probably the ones coming is gonna, I don't know. So your thinking is what, Angela?
No, see, my thing again. I know you have to go, but you just made my point, right? It's the policy. It's America's stance. What's the difference? What's the difference of the trauma and the drama that went on with George Floyd versus what's going on across the land?
The difference is we were in the streets, but we had the right. Hold on. The difference is we had the right to protest. Under a Trump administration, he is now deputizing everybody to do what happened to Ahmaud Arbery. Now, and right now in Gaza, they don't have any rights, right? So there's the market difference. I'm not even going to make that comparison, but I'm saying that for me and a lot of people listening, this is not a choice between I'm voting my conscience versus this man, Project 2025. I'm not, being hyperbolic. It's a real thing that's already being enacted. If you live in Texas, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in Louisiana, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in Florida, it's already here. Stand your ground. Texas governor just pardoned a man that killed somebody talking about stand your ground because that's what they believe. And let's not even talk about Florida. That can become a national policy where your right to protest a George Floyd situation will be taken from you because every police will be deputized to do what Derek Chauvin did. I don't want to live in a world like that.
Right. So our children, right, who were just across our nation, was out there doing it. And see, first of all, when they say the revolution won't be televised.
No, you're just saying stuff right now, Angela. You're not dealing with what we're talking about. And I need to have a line in which we have a conversation. I don't want to go all over the place. So in November, what are you doing?
In November, between now and November, because I will go to the booth, but I will be watching between now and November. It'll be interesting to see.
What are you looking for? What needs to happen between now and November for you?
Let's see. Let everyone prove their point.
No,
all the
that's
representatives, because it's not just the president.
What needs to happen? What do you need to see for you to pull that lever for Biden, or not pull that lever for Biden, or pull a lever for Trump? What needs to happen?
I need to see that our children, it's okay for them to protest. Because what I saw on this campus and not
that has nothing to do with Biden, though. That's not a federal policy until it becomes a federal policy. That like you're mixing meat and milk right now. These things aren't the same.
It happened under his. But
he has no control over what goes on campuses. That's not his purview. So to even put that in his lap, those are college presidents that have to answer to board members that have to answer to corporations because they're big hedge funds. No, it's like I don't think civically we understand what's really happening here. And it's sad to me that I even have to have these conversations on this channel with so many brilliant people listening. You taught for 30 years our babies, and God bless you for doing that. That I have to have this discussion with somebody that was in the classroom teaching is very disheartening. It's very disheartening that we don't understand the fundamentals of what is going on in this country. It is so disheartening. And I don't know what to do about it. I just really don't. Because it's simple to frustration. Be damned. Frustration be damned. I guess I can't get frustrated. I gotta keep talking. And I love you, Angela. I love you. And I'm gonna ask you while you watch and wait that you also study. Because it's not, know who has the power to do what. Because I guarantee you, electing somebody that can be pressed into changing policy, which has happened, we've watched it. All of these protests and these uncommitted votes in primaries, my primary is coming up next week, has pushed the Biden administration into saying something to Benjamin Netanyahu, which he wasn't doing before, calling for a ceasefire, which he wasn't doing before. That's a direct result of the stuff that's happening on campuses, which he has nothing to do with, by the way. Those are college presidents. So it's working. I guarantee you aren't going to be able to press Trump into doing anything that he doesn't want to do. He can't be shamed. He can't be pushed and cajoled into doing something for the will of the people. All that student loan debt forgiveness, Biden wasn't going to do it in the beginning. If y'all remember, dial it back a little bit. And then it came forward. And then the Supreme Court, Trump's Supreme Court said, nope, no student loan forgiveness on our watch. And then Biden had to figure it out. But that only happens when we vote and then press people to do things. That's the order of things. You vote and then you press people to do things. You don't wait until 3 years out. You do it immediately. And we're doing it in real time during this primary. So, yeah, we got work to do in messaging. But please, let's be an informed public. Let's not go the way of other folk here who are leaning into tribalism and misinformation and disinformation and ignorance.